Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Tips and Tea. I'm your host, Sha Dixon, and today I'm pleased to have JC.
Thank you.
Hi, JC.
How you doing?
Great. Thank you for coming to have tea with me first and foremost.
No problem. Thank
Now, I'm sure everybody thinks that you look familiar. So JC is a singer as well as a songwriter.
Right.
And anything else to add to your title?
No, that's pretty much it. I do some production, but
Some production.
singing songwriting.
And about a summer or two ago, you had this really big song that we all knew and loved. What was the name of it?
I had a record. It's called Nobody Gotta Know.
Nobody Gotta
It
Know.
was a radio record. It was more regional and then kind of spotted here and there, different states throughout the country.
Okay, cool. So where are you originally from?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. I know a few people from Nashville, and they told me that Nashville is like country and it's not that fun of a place.
I mean, it's definitely a countryside. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely country because it's the home of country. But it's a big gospel market there. And it's really a huge underground market as far as like real soul artists like Anthony Hamilton's and
He's from Nashville?
no, those type of
Okay.
artists like Jill Scott's, and they actually have a big live music scene down there with the BB Kings and different juke joints, so they call them.
So what kind of music do you do?
Like my music that I do personally for myself is more what we call kind of like urban, like hip hop R&B, kind of like a cross between maybe Chris Brown and like Trey Songz. Like that's kind of my personal style. But writing wise, I write everything from rock to country to gospel to pop to pretty much everything.
Cool. So how long have you lived in Atlanta?
I've been in Atlanta for 4 years.
And you moved here to pursue music?
Yeah.
And before you moved here from from Nashville, did you already have a deal? Because I want to get into that.
No, I was working in Nashville and I was doing music on the side. Like I was doing music at night and really I was doing it full time.
Mhm.
I was going to work too. And
Where are you working at?
well, you'd be surprised.
Where? We want to know.
I was a teacher.
A
I
teacher?
was teaching, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Most people thought I was a student. I was teaching. And so I was doing that, and I had a lady who I met at a showcase. Ludacris had just started doing some stuff with his foundation. And I did a music showcase with him in Kentucky. And she knew Diddy, and she took my stuff.
D. Diddy?
Yeah.
The real Diddy?
Yeah,
Do you know him?
I know him, but I don't, I'm not gonna front like that's my homeboy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at the time he had the Block E T-Thing, Bad Boy South.
Right.
He was creating that, and then that's how I got to Atlanta. I signed a deal with them and got here.
Yeah.
That's how I got here.
That's how you got here.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of y'all don't know, I remember like years and years ago, I saw you on the Apollo, right?
Yeah, I was
on the
like,
Apollo.
yeah, that was a while.
How long ago?
I was about 15 back then. I sung in a group. It was actually a gospel group. I
Yeah.
sang in a gospel group then. And
Do you have any, are you like a preacher's son or anything?
Yeah, I'm a PK. So I pride myself, like it trickles down into my style of writing. Like my style of writing is very, it's more of like the old traditional style lyrically. Like style-wise, it still fits today's genre, but I write a lot of what I call clean music, like just really like songs about like real love songs and real like more situational songs. Like if I had a choice between what I go put down on paper or what I pen, I go and I try to think a little bit outside the box instead of what's a little bit easier.
Okay. Let's just rewind it, or actually fast forward a little bit.
Right.
So you moved to Atlanta from Nashville. When you moved here, you didn't have a deal, but then
No,
you ended
I actually started. At first, I was traveling back and forth for
Yeah.
a full year. Like I was teaching. I was in grad school at night, and I went to studio at night, and I drove to Atlanta every weekend. Like I was doing that for like a year and a half, and so that's how I got at least a little bit of buzz amongst the industry.
Right.
And so I actually had already signed a record deal when I moved.
With who?
With Bad Boy South, Black
Bad Boy
Entertainment.
South.
Bad
Black
Boy
Entertainment.
South.
So is Bad Boy South the same thing as Black Entertainment?
It's pretty much the same. It was like, it's really an imprint. It was just an imprint of Bad Boy. It was a joint venture between Block and Diddy. And at the time, Diddy had Making the Band going on. He had like a lot of artists, so that's how I ended up on Bad Boy South. I didn't know what I was getting into, but that's how I ended up on Bad Boy South.
What exactly did you get yourself into?
Oh wow. I mean, it was an experience. It was just a learning experience. Like, I mean, every artist, I don't know, like I've written for even major artists, and every major artist I meet, I try to get something from them, like ask them, you know, like artists that are just really out there. I'm talking like Alicia Keys, like those type artists, and I try to ask them some of the things they've been through. And I've never met an artist that is like really mainstream that hasn't been through a bad situation or a bad business venture.
So you say all that to say?
It was just a bad business decision on my part. But you know, I was from Nashville. Like, we don't have a urban scene there as far as like record labels. So you don't have a place to go outside of just performing kind of locally. Like, you don't have that, you know, that presence of a So-So Def and a Bad Boy South and a DTP and a...
But there are a lot of country music.
Yeah, you got those.
You ever tried to do country?
No.
No? You could have been like the first young, cute, black country singer.
No,
I think you would have got far.
I'm straight. That's not me. But I mean, I tried it out, and at the time it was a good situation. But what I learned from that situation is you have...
So wait, you're trying to go to the end of the situation.
No, I'm telling you.
What's in the middle
I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you.
All right.
The bottom line is, in every record deal, it involves a contract. And if me and you drew up a contract right now, I can tell you something random. I'm going to give you my card.
Okay.
Now, contractually, I have to give you my card, but whether or not I'm going to do it, that's just up to me. You know, I still have a decision to make if I want to go to court and whatever the case may be. So
what was in your contract that they said they were going to give you the...
I mean, it was several things. Like, my contract was just all cut up and breached, but I just learned that, you know... So
who breached your contract? Diddy or just...
No, like Diddy wasn't involved in my project. Okay. I was past the block. So it's just a lot of bad business and a lot of just negligence on my part, you know, just coming in for a new deal and just expecting everything on paper to be taken care of. So that's how my single got out. I put my own record out. That's why it never pushing that record.
What we're describing is actually something that's against the law. It's called payola. But how is it that it's done and made to look legal?
Just because you don't really have a choice. Because at the end, because at the end of the day, like a label, they either a station is gonna play it or they're not. Because they can always find ways. They can always give you a reason why they can't play the record. Like, they could just say, we don't like it, but I will like it if you give me $2,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they can always just say, I don't like it, I'm not gonna play it. So, I mean, every artist knows, every major artist comes out of their pocket. Like, all the way down to club DJs.
Right.
When you're starting to spread a record to the club, you don't just take a record to a DJ and they play it. Like, you gonna buy them some drinks, you gonna throw them $100, you gonna throw them some kind of money to start playing that record.
So you have to, okay, so what this sounds like in the modern world, the equivalent of what a lot of females describe that they have to go through. So a lot of women will say when they've tried to be in music videos or get certain casting jobs that whoever it is that's doing the castings will say to them, yeah, I'll put you on as the lead girl, but you have to sleep with me. So you got to pay to play.
Right.
And with this industry, you have to literally pay money to play. Yeah. I guess because you're a man, they probably wouldn't want to sleep with you. Maybe in Atlanta, but in other places.
I was about to say, the industry is crazy. See, that's a whole, I ain't getting into that. That's a whole different, but you have female executives. You have female executives, and some of these people are like, I'm talking about, you wouldn't even believe some of their requests.